Greetings. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer, and Joe takes number 31. And tonight we're going to be talking breaker in the Ram cycle from the hill. Before we get into that, I didn't have any carded examples of breakers, so I had so much from the Snake Eyes video last week on Joe Takes 30 that I decided to show some of my carded examples of Snake Eyes in this video. I think I have two more, but they got mixed in with my co-crews and Loki. So let's just take a look at the carded example for the modern line in the 20th anniversary of Snake Eyes, the Commando. Let's get this off the screen so we can see it a little better. Note that below the bottom is our Discord link, which is also in the chat. Click on that, join the Performance Adventures, build our Adventures Guild. Now, that's the Commando. Now, for the 25th anniversary, it came out with a really cool Snake Eyes. I like that. It was an Arctic Trooper version of Snake Eyes. And this kind of goes in line with Breaker. That actually is from this cover, and you can see Breaker there with bubblegum, and so him and Snake Eyes were on this mission together. So it was kind of cool. I wish they came out with an Arctic version of Breaker like this. But then you got the file card, the opportunity to check that out. Now, like this was based off the original, so his grade was E5, but this one says E7. But that was kind of interesting. Now, they also came out with one of these with timber for the 25th anniversary line, and I really like this figure. It's a pretty good one. And then again, we got the file card back there. I got this when it really first came out with the 25th anniversary line, and I was able to buy one in and out of the package. Now, they also came out with a retro version of Snake Eyes, and for the Walmart exclusive just a couple of years ago. But their file card again, that's just one of those with the multi-language. It's okay, it does the job sort of. Let's see if I can get these out of the way now. Set them down here. All right, now we're talking about Breaker tonight, and they're both Snake Eyes and Breaker are both on the original 13. We're going to start with, like I said, I don't have a vintage example of Breaker, but I have a stand-in in the Valor vs. Venom line, I think, or shortly thereafter. They had a comic pack with Breaker that came out. Now, this looks like a very generic soldier. Came with an M16 on the radio, and this could be Grunt. This could be anybody. Didn't have the beard or the stubble even. It was the first Breaker I ever was able to acquire. But when the 25th anniversary line came out, I was able to pick up Breaker, which was nice. Now, I do have a vintage Ram, but it's in really, really bad shape. And this is how I acquired it. A friend of mine just gave this to me. And I really like this motorcycle. I like it better than the Silver Mirage. I like it better than almost any motorcycle they came out with afterwards. Well, in the 25th anniversary line, Breaker that came out, was pretty cool and resembled more the original Breaker, and it even came with a little like chewing gum bubble that you could pose on him. I never saw that by the package I bought, so I didn't even know it came with that until years later. Now, so that's stuff there. He in the 25th anniversary line, he came out with an updated Ram cycle. And this particular Ram I thought was even so much better than the original. I mean, I don't even know if the original one spun around like this. This is 11 back here, but this one does. And I'm missing the little gas cans that attach to the back, but this one, it was nice to get an updated version. And the handlebars on this bike are awesome. You better look at it. And they actually turn with the wheel, which I thought was a very nice touch. Now, like I said, that came with breaker in the 25th anniversary line. I think that set was Serpentor and the Air Chariot, if I remember correctly. I might not. I'm pretty sure. Now, those are the 3 3/4 inch ones that I have, and so that would take us to the classified. Now, classified came in this big old nice box for Cobra Island. He was 29 in the series, and I was going to do him as Joe Takes 29, but that fell on Veterans Day. And I wanted to do something special on Veterans Day, so that's why I did my Sergeant Slaughter video then, which was pretty cool. I had a lot of fun doing that one. And there's the artwork of the box. At the end of this live video, I will have play on Joe Takes 31, and I do have a lot of the artwork in there. Now, I probably should have scanned this myself. I found one online, and it didn't turn out very well. I wish out of this one right here, I wish I had a proper scan of this, because it was really blurry, but I really didn't have a lot of time when I was making on Joe Takes 31. So we ended up now. There is a second Ram cycle in the classified series, and I've already looked at it on the Duke video, but we'll take another look at the artwork here. And this is not included in the end, but the Ram cycle, I really like the Ram. And there's the back of it. It came with Duke, but Duke had his day in the sun, so I'm not going to show him off. He's still in the box there. But that takes us to Breaker of the Ram. So here we go. Let's take a look. Now, Breaker was on the original box art of the Ram cycle. This one here that was sold separately by itself. This classified update, I think, is even better than the 25th anniversary update. Of course, larger, better. And we get Breaker off of here so we can take a better look at Breaker separately. And I'm not even going to try to put it back on there in this video. And I'm just put it away later on tonight. Or this morning. It's already midnight, so when I started this. All right, so let's straighten him out here. Sometimes these classified figures have a hard time going back in a position when you want to put them out straight. But this Breaker figure did not come with a weapon other than what comes with the Ram, and I'll be taking a good look at that here in a minute. Now, his helmet does come off, and it should come off now. And he's got a really good face sculpt. Looks a lot like the Breaker on the cartoon, and I really like this face sculpt. He's got his flak jacket there, so that when he's riding the Ram, he has a little bit of protection. Very well detailed and very, very good update, and tried to do an homage like this one did to the original Breaker. Really liked it, enjoyed it. Now, let's take a look at his head here. Comes with a nice little visor. And the visor actually has I don't know if you can see it, like a blue-green sheen to it, awful green maybe. And it's got the microphone there. And I thought this was a pretty cool update to the microphone, the headset, and the backpack attachment. They kind of just put it all in the helmet, and I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So we've got all these communication gear right there where he needs it, and it's back on his head, and there's Breaker. it was a decent figure. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty nice homage to the original Breaker. It was one of the original 13 Joes. Get him down here real nice and tight. Now, what I like to do here, and this is going to be a little difficult because I'm going to hold these two up, and then I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to have them all on screen at the same time. Not the best. If I had a turntable or something, that might be nice, but I don't have my studio set up, so this is what we get. And so we got all three RAM cycles on screen at the same time. And I'm also going to do that with the Tiger Force RAM. I'll have them both up. There's no way I'm going to do all four at once. Probably maybe like this. Nope. These are just really big. Now, I do like this right here, the handlebars and the gauges on the handlebars for speed and fuel. And I'm going to take a really good look at the sidecar here. But this was pretty cool. I like showing it off again. I don't have any qualms about doing that. Now, I'm not so sure about the red color on it. I think they could have done a lot better with black, actually, like they had on here. I don't know why they changed that for that particular one. I know it's supposed to be Tiger Force colors and all, but black kind of works in most situations. Now, this motorcycle, I just really love it. It's solid, sturdy. It's not hollow like it might look. Now, so I can take the sidecar, and I'm going to leave that part on there. This part just comes off really easy, and gives you the Gatling gun. This one came with heavy artillery roadblock too, and I took a look at him a few weeks ago, beginning of November here, and so you can actually put this in Breaker's hands and have him wield the Gatling gun as a handheld weapon. I mean, it's kind of crazy. And he's no roadblock. I really don't think this particular character could actually wield this Gatling gun. It's not really realistic that Roadblock can, but he's Roadblock, so there you go. But Breaker, it's cool that they gave him this gun, and it made it so that we could have the same gun for Roadblock. I wish they'd have given Roadblock for the heavy artillery Roadblock. I wish they'd given him the mod deuce 50 caliber. Don't know why they didn't, but it really worked out good for the RAM cycle because you can use the gun as a handheld weapon, and it does spin around in there too, but not for the back like this modern one, the 25th anniversary one. You can actually spin it from the back, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I love motorcycles. I had an issue with motorcycles when I was younger, where I was told, I'll just go ahead and let go of the clutch, and never had any of the controls explained to me, and went flying through a ditch, and pretty much wrecked the bike. But my friend who let me ride his bike, he insisted too, and I was like, I don't want to do this, but he insisted that I give it a try, and he was going to teach me how to ride. But after that day, he gave up on that. This is a really good example, and a really nice update for the original vintage Ram. I wish I had the sidecar for this. I wish I had a nicer version for this. I don't at the moment. Now see, on the modern, on the back, it has a clear light. I don't know if you can see that very well. On the back, right here. And on the original, they just had like a red sticker, red paint on the end of that. I'm pretty sure it was a sticker. They didn't get a lot of paint applications back then. And then the modern one has a red brake light. It's pretty cool. Definitely love the wheels. I wish they would make more motorcycles for the Dreadnoks from the classified line. That would be so sweet. I don't know if we're going to get that, but there's my comparison of the classified Ram and the vintage Ram and the modern 25th anniversary Ram. And that takes us to his appearances on the cartoon. Now he was in the Mass Device, the first G.I. Joe miniseries, and Revenge of Cobra, and he had various parts all throughout that. And both of them ended with him saying nobody's perfect. So Breaker had some pretty cool lines. Let's play Commando, man. So from the TV series, he was in it sporadically. I mean, he was in it quite often, but not as a main character. They just, for some reason, thought that the communication officer was a boring job, I guess. MOS, military occupational specialty. But I never saw it that way. You need a communication officer in the field to call in an airstrike, and he's got to know the coordinates exactly where. Plus, he can keep you linked to command. When all else fails, if you don't have a communication officer and your comms go down, you're kind of in a bad place. And so I always understood why Breaker was included as one of the original 13 shows. Now, a lot of people don't. I don't know what. I meant to turn that off. But I think what I'm going to do is turn my music down just a little bit while I go into a little bit more detail here. Maybe it was a little too loud. But that's okay. All right, so we cover the figures and we're talking cartoon a little bit. I mean, there were a few episodes where he was in it, but like I said, never prominently. I do remember. Let me see which Flint's Vacation. There's a memorable scene where him and Bazooka broke into this communication setup that Cobra had, and they were basically brainwashing a town with it. And they were using some little suggestions, and Breaker and Bazooka broke in with a picture of Cobra Commander on a dartboard. And Breaker's line was, "Ignore Cobra Commander, he's a jerk." So, Breaker had some decent lines. I really like the character. He's not, my top 20 even, I don't think, but he's of the original. I like him a lot. He had personality. I always hung out with Clutch and Rock and Roll, and I really like both of those characters. But that takes us to the comic now. He was in G.I. Joe #1, but he wasn't on the cover. A lot of the Joes were, but not all of them. He was one of the few that wasn't. Again, like I said, I showed you this cover already. There he is back there blowing a bubble. That was kind of his thing. Here's G.I. Joe #1. But you got Clutch back there, Steeler, Hawk, Flash, Stalker, and Scarlet. See, Snake Eyes wasn't even on the first one. Then you got Grunt over here in the corner. So technically they had seven Joes on the original out of 13. So that's a little more than half. So that's not too bad of a deal. Now, I want to get to this one, because that's my favorite cover with Breaker on it, even though you can't really see him very well in it. There's not a lot of covers with Breaker where you can see him really well. Now, the one that you can, unfortunately, is G.I. Joe 109. And you can see Breaker down here with his comm gear. Now, you don't really see him really good, but this is the issue where Breaker got killed, and he was blown up on a range tank. He was on a range tank, and it got blown up. And it was Larry Hama, well written. Larry Hama is, I'll plug him every time. I'll say how great of an author he is and how much he's inspired me in my life to write. First, the one after. You got the Saw Viper, who killed Doc and a few of the others. Now, before I get into this was part of a two-parter This was the first half, the first appearance of the October Guard, and it was really cool. And although I like this cover better, my favorite Breaker story happened in the issue before, where him, Clutch, and Steeler, I'm pretty sure it was Clutch, were in a parade. And for me, this is one of the most memorable Breaker stories, and I'm going to take it out, take a look at it here. So we have it's Clutch, Breaker, and Steeler, and Scarlett's there talking to them before they head off to the parade, where they go with General Flag, and just kind of are at this parade, and Cobra has decided to attack this parade for whatever reason, and it's a parade, so it's the tank is unarmed, but naturally Cobra's weapons aren't, and so they basically just used the tank as a battering ram for the most part, and didn't manage to stop Cobra, but they managed to stop Cobra because of something Breaker did. And this is one of my very favorite moments in comics. And let me see if I can find a scene where here we go. Tank's coming up, and they're like, that tank isn't armed. And they're about ready to blow it up with the cannon, and then they hear a blam, and as it turns out, there was no ammo in the tank. And what they had done was Breaker had gone over the loudspeaker and actually popped the bubble on his gun. And I know there's a scene in here where they talk about that. Yeah, there he is blowing his bubble gum. I love these old comics. Some really good stuff. There he's down there with the corner blowing his bubble gum. Now, I know Breaker or on the vintage figure had a beard. A lot of times in the comics he was clean shaven. In G.I. Joe #1, they had a file or dossier or bio of him. And they had him listed as a E3, which is a private first class. But the file card, which I have one in the video here at the end, his file card listed him as an E4, and then later on he got promoted, and I have a file card on him as an E5. So that's where we are with the comics and the cartoon. Now, for me, Breaker is their primary communication officer. I mean, I do have a dial tone figure in the vintage line, but I did use him a bit, but he just wasn't my communication officer ever, even in my headcanon. I used dial tone, but he was more of a field operative. Breaker, not so much a field operative, but definitely taking care of all the comms for all of G.I. Joe. I had Breaker set up their satellite communications and everything in my headcanon. And I really, really thought Breaker was a pivotal character to the G.I. Joe team. As far as rank is concerned, he really doesn't, he's not an authority figure of any sort. Like I said, he got promoted to E5, which made him a sergeant, later on. And then in the mid-20s of the G.I. Joe series. So about a year and a half after he came out, he was promoted to sergeant, maybe a little longer, where all the original Joes got promoted by one pay grade. So at that point, he was definitely a sergeant throughout the rest of the comics. Didn't make a lot of other appearances in the comics, like I said. But for me, nothing happens without Breaker. I mean, and if Breaker's not there, you got Mainframe or Dial Tone who come in and kind of help out and take his place. But you have to have Dial Tone and Mainframe to do what Breaker can do. Now, I know Mainframe is the premier computers guy. Dial Tone actually is probably better at building communication gear and a ham radio and all that stuff that he knows how to work with, like all the electronic stuff. But Breaker kind of does it all. He's kind of your multi-talented communication specialist, and that's what I really liked about Breaker. And I as a team member, he's not on one of my fire teams, but he is right there with the command structure, and everything is done through Breaker. So basically, headquarters is his baby. He keeps everything going and keeps everybody in communication, and keeps them so that they're not in the dark so much. And it happens where you lose comms, but generally Breaker will be the one to get it right back. Now, he does do good work in the field too, as with GI Joe #2, field operative, and he was on several missions. But like I said, never really a frontline guy. And he originally he didn't come with a gun. Didn't bother me any. The comic pack that I got, he came with an M16, standard soldier's weapon. The modern figure came with 2 pistols. Actually, it was kind of interesting. He's got one. Oh, he's got a sidearm. Keep that out of the way. But yeah, he has a sidearm there. And then he has a pistol here in this holster over here instead of a knife. And I see that all soldiers should carry a sidearm and a combat knife. Breaker didn't come with a knife there. Now on this one, he has a knife, and I think on the original one too, he has a knife like right there, but it doesn't come off. Classified figure doesn't come with a knife either, but I like some of the paint applications on these motorcycles. Like the Tiger Force Ram had the silver, and the regular Ram, it's kind of a grayish black. Really, really cool vehicle. I'm glad they put it out. It basically, I know the Bears was the first one where they came out with the coil cycle, and it just paved the way for the Ram. And I think they did a really good job with updating the Ram and bringing it out. And Breaker, cool character. I'm glad, I'll be able to sit here and have talk about him. And that pretty much takes us to what's coming up next week. So that's my take on Breaker. Next week and all of next month, we're doing Cobra Troop Builders. So I'm going to have some fun with that. And next week, we're starting with Alley Viper. And I have a few, not like following week where we're going to take a look at Vipers, but I have quite a few Vipers. So we'll take a look at those, and that'll be next week and the week after. And we're going to end the year with one more, because we're only going to have 3 Joe takes in December, because after Christmas time, we're going to take a couple of weeks off for doing Joe takes and a lot of other videos. But we're going to have our Fridays show going on. But as far as Joe takes is concerned, over the next 3 weeks, we're going to have Joe takes, but then we won't have another one until after the first of the year, of the new year. So that's where we're at with Breaker from the Hilt. I hope you enjoyed my take on Breaker. And now I'm going to show you that on Joe Takes 31 video. And let me get this music off so it's out of the way. Naturally, that's right when I get a notification. So thanks for watching, and hope you like Breaker. And here you go.
Bravo Team 3. Acknowledge Sierra Whiskey.
Get him, Breaker!
Mainframe has uploaded the coordinates onto the Little Orca's Navcom Bravo 2-1. That sector is the only remaining active fire zone, so happy hunting.
Affirmative, Breaker. Blackjack out.